Hello, everybody. Welcome to Take the Black Live, the self-proclaimed premier online show for all things Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, television, movies, sci-fi, fantasy, all that good stuff. I am Dan Selcke, editor of WintersComing.net, and who am I here with?
I'm Mia Johnson, entertainment editor at fansided.com.
And we have a lot of good stuff to get to today. But first, a quick shameless plug. We are available in podcast form, wherever podcasts are downloadable, iTunes, Spreaker. If you feel like giving us a completely laudatory, way over the top, glowing 5-star review, that would be great. But first things first, we are giving away today a beautiful Game of Thrones, the complete series box set.
Wow.
Ooh. The whole thing, it is pretty cool. It's like $250 on Amazon, so it's good value if you win.
How may they win this?
Okay, so if you're just joining us, the way we do giveaways is, and hello everybody, hi Julie, Heike, Ashley, Louise, Crystal, good to see all of you. The way we do it is, we're going to talk for a while and listen to your comments about all the things happening in the world of entertainment. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to ask a Game of Thrones themed trivia question. Pretty easy one, don't worry. And the first person to get us a correct answer wins. Then we contact you and you get the $250 value Game of Thrones complete series box set, provided you live in the US or Canada. Sorry, Julie, we can't go outside that. Because if Think Jam and HBO were kind enough to let us give this thing away, but the conditions are it's U.S. and Canada. I'm sorry to all our international listeners, but it is a U.S. and Canada thing. And that will be coming at the end. For right now, just everybody, thanks for joining us.
Let's see. Everybody's discussing the weather. We've got some sunny, cold Florida, freezing cold and snowy in Maine. Oh, my goodness. I hope you all stay warm. It's nice and sunny here in Chicago, which is a change. Even though
Isn't it weird how, we're, the balmy place right now?
Like Florida, what?
I'm sure it'll change up in the near future. And to give you an indication of what you're going to get on this Game of Thrones box set, they've been releasing everything recently. Because it's out, I think, yesterday it came out. So everybody's like, here's a deleted scene, and here's a little commentary track, and here's a little feature thing. And there's lots of cool stuff being said. I thought we would play one of the deleted scenes, because there were a few.
Yeah.
The final season of Game of Thrones got a lot of, heated debate over whether it was true to the characters, whether it was a good ending. And I don't think deleted scenes are going to change anything, but I think some of them are interesting.
It's fun to at least see. It's fun to pretend.
It's fun to pretend. Including in this little one that took place during the first episode. I'll set it up. It's they're fortifying Winterfell to fight the White Walkers, and Jon and Daenerys are wandering among the plebes, the workers. Let's see what they discover. I like the one kid who's just what? Am I supposed to stand?
Do I care about her? Kid, haven't you been watching the show?
Sure she is. So, I think the idea with that scene is they're trying to set up this idea that Daenerys is not being given any respect,
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason, she feels like no one in Westeros loves her.
Yeah.
Which is, the idea is that this builds into her kind of snapping later and deciding fine, if none of y'all want me to rule you, I'll just light you up.
I guess.
What do you think of that?
I feel like we were talking about this maybe a couple of episodes back or podcasts back where we were talking about, hey, there were some scenes where they were like, oh, this is going to show Daenerys snap, but we decided to cut it out. And I think maybe that one scene doesn't carry a ton of weight.
No, I mean, no one thing is going to explain genocide.
Right. How many licks to get to genocide? But
that's a bite. It's not a lick.
But I think maybe parts of a whole would have added up to a big moment like that. So if we got, and that scene was only 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30-second scene.
So if we had a couple more 30-second bites of oh wow, they're really giving it to her. They really hate Daenerys. maybe that would have like sort of kind of justified her feelings, because otherwise I still think it was like a very like, oh my gosh, why is she doing this, why did
Yeah,
she snap?
and I mean, like, I don't think any like deleted scenes are gonna like, oh, now I get it. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that's gonna do that.
Yeah.
I wish they had like kind of underlined that the people of King's Landing specifically didn't want her, because like they're the ones who got it. They're the
Right,
ones who got
right.
burned.
And we kind of got, I mean, like, yeah, we saw that from like Sansa, where Sansa was just like, no, absolutely not. But it's like, well, how else was everyone else feeling? Were they not as receptive to her? They weren't.
I mean, like, I don't want to relitigate what's already been a long litigation
Yeah.
thing. But, you know, like, they did have, like, a plot line where Cersei was kind of, like, trying to mount up a bit of a PR campaign against her. You know, and she had scenes where, like, she's an invader, she's trying to kill everybody, we don't want her here, but we never, like, got it from the people. If they, like,
Yeah.
cheered when Missandei's head was chopped off or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, not to be.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda, I guess.
And there's other stuff like that on there.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole. Hey, yourself. Excited for the new series is Jay Salazar. I am too. And Christine can't wait to see more deleted scenes. I think there are like 6.
Okay.
As well as, you know, commentaries in every single episode. Long, voluminous behind-the-scenes features. There's also a thing that's just on the complete series box set where Conan O'Brien went to the
that's
set.
right.
Yeah, and like just did like interviews with the whole cast. Like including like Sean Bean and Jason Momoa and people
Yeah.
who like
I would
came back
love to
for
see
it.
that. Conan's so funny. So I'd like to see a little comedy brought into the Game of Thrones world.
Absolutely. But, okay, so we will give away the box set at the end of this episode. But first, talk about some other things going on in the world, including one of your favorite little fandoms here,
Yeah.
the Marvel fandom.
Marvel. So
We got a trailer. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. Yesterday, I guess I'll set it up. Yesterday, which was Tuesday. No, they released it like overnight.
Oh, they
Tuesday.
did,
It was
yeah.
like 2:00 in the morning here, I believe. Which, oddly enough, I had just gone to bed. So I was like, oh, I just missed it. So I saw it in the morning. They released the Black Widow trailer. Finally, everybody's been talking about, you know, Black Widow movie. When is it going to come out?
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah. So finally, we got the trailer. I think we want to show that
Yeah,
as well, a little bit of it.
roll a clip. When is it out?
I used to have nothing. And then I got this job. This family. But nothing lasts forever.
I heard you had to leave in a hurry.
It's never easy these days.
So what are you going to do?
I've lived a lot of lives, but I'm done running from my past.
I know you're out there.
I know you know I'm out here. So we're gonna talk like grown-ups?
Is that what we are?
It's good to see you too, sis.
What brings you home?
Okay. So,
Wait, behind the scenes, Dan was doing cartoon sound effect noises to the fight.
cartoon.
Realistic. I don't know, but
Yeah, I was doing Foley work. Very realistic stuff.
okay.
So, why are you excited for this particular movie?
You know what? I think it's a weird level of excitement. It's one of those like long overdue sorts of things.
Yes.
Because everyone really wanted a Black Widow movie. Like she was introduced in Iron Man 2 in 2010.
Right.
So obviously between her first introduction of the character and the movie, which comes out I think May 1st, 2020, it's been 10 years that she's been playing this role. People are like, why didn't she have a, you know, solo movie? Everybody else has a solo movie in Avengers, except for Hawkeye. But
There's his own series coming.
But yeah, he's getting his own series, so it's
Hawkeye
so
got to
overdue.
live.
Yeah, he did get to live. So I think it's a little bit of that too. Like, hey, finally, you know, Captain Marvel got a solo movie before her, so it's about darn time.
It is. And, you know, I like the idea of, by the way, it is a prequel, obviously. I mean, not to go too spoiler heavy, but sequels are kind of impossible for Black Widow. I mean,
Yeah.
not really in comics. Anything can happen.
Right? Yeah.
This one is set, I think, after Civil War, but before Infinity War. So she's on the run and kind of reuniting with her family, who I think is David Harbour as, like, her husband or her father or something.
No, I think Well, okay, so
Apparently,
here's-
he's her husband in the comics. I looked that up really briefly in Wikipedia.
Okay, yeah. I don't, unless it's like a fake marriage in the movie. Well, I was going to say I don't see her settling down until I remembered Age of Ultron and the whole Incredible Hulk thing where she was trying to get with him. But that's besides the point. What was I going to say? Oh, right, her family, right? So we have Florence, how do you say her last name?
Pugh.
Florence Pugh plays a character named Yelena. And it's her sister, and I guess it's like sister in combat sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's like
Brought-
a blood sisterhood.
Yeah,
sort
all
of.
brought up in like that trained femme fatale Black Widow program. And that was shown a little bit later in the story as well, or in the trailer, where it's like, oh, you've got all these like female assassins and they're being trained. So it'll be interesting to see what her backstory was and what it's like to be another Black Widow, because they've all got like the same fighting style and suits and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool.
I really enjoyed the Winter Soldier movie. I liked it because it was like so kind of grounded and down to earth. I think Louise just compared it to a Bourne movie, which I totally
yeah,
thought too.
yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, that looks like Jason Bourne doing this stuff. I liked it.
Oh
You
my
know,
God, that's Jason Bourne.
that in like it's not like Thor. You don't have to like have a giant, god smashing sequence.
Yeah.
It can be more grounded and like kind of hand to hand stuff, which
Yeah.
is like another flavor for them.
Yeah, and that's really what's interesting is Marvel's been able to find like to let every movie
Yeah, I
have its
agree.
own sort of genre, from Thor Ragnarok, or like the difference between, Winter Soldier or Civil War. So I think it is interesting. It's like, oh, now we're getting a Jason Bourne and Scarlett Johansson is in the lead.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
But yeah.
By the way, some of these comments, Rachel Weisz makes Marvel debut, very awesome. Somebody said up there really fast, who was it? Sherry Fix, hi from Springfield, Illinois. Just really quick, that's where I was born, Springfield, Illinois. So
Represent.
I'm glad to hear you say that, Sherry, because Springfield forever right here. So we got that coming. That's a prequel.
Yeah.
The next step forward for Marvel, Phase 4, is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Is I think it might be the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show, unless the Eternals gets there first.
You know what? I'm forgetting when that's coming out. For some reason,
It's next year.
It is next year. Okay, yeah. So
And I think the Eternals like
Yeah.
November or something. So it could be before. It's going to be interesting. How do you feel about the next phase of Marvel? I mean, like,
Yeah.
it incorporating television.
Yeah,
Like, to be a Marvel fan, it's not just movies anymore. You're going to have to watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, at this point, they've kind of earned my trust, I think.
yeah.
Like, I'll watch
Yeah.
whatever. I'll go with it.
I will, yeah. That's what I was texting my friend today, and she's like, I can't tell if this is going to be good or if they're just setting me. She was talking about Black Widow. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just setting me up again. I was like, at this point, I don't really have a choice. I'm going to see every single thing they put out. So it doesn't matter if
Until
I like
they
it
start
or if
slipping.
I don't. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because kind of like we thought we might see that with The Mandalorian, where we're like, ooh, is it going to relate to like the Rise of Skywalker? And it's like, okay, no, it's not. So you can watch those two completely separate and independent of one another.
Yes.
But once we get down to like the Marvel stuff, it really is going to be a whole new thing of like, oh, do I actually have to watch this before going into the movie? Which I don't know what Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to do, but I know like WandaVision and Loki, they said, are going to tie into the new Doctor Strange movie. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, I've got a prerequisite. I've got some homework to do before I get into this next movie. So
That is something that I think is intriguing, the idea of like doing homework to watch TV. By the
Yeah.
way, Louise asked, what's the rating on Black Widow? Pretty sure it's PG-13. I don't think they do
Yeah.
R movies
No, they're
in
not.
the MCU.
They're not, and I think the only exception will
yet.
be like Deadpool 3. So
That's true.
yeah.
That was not MCU until very recently.
Until very recently. So that might be the one exception to the rule. So it should be, I think, PG-13.
That's
max.
that's interesting. Yes, yeah, they own Deadpool now, so they're going to have to do R or disappoint a
Yeah.
lot of people.
Yeah. And I think they want to stick true to that. So yeah, it's going to be bloody, but it's not going to be that bloody. It'll be intense, but
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the whole like Disney Plus thing, it's kind of like, to me, it's not a problem because I want to see this stuff.
I do too.
But I don't know. It's kind of, I feel like out of touch with like a casual viewer. So I don't really know what their experience is like. But I think it speaks that, like if Avengers Endgame can make, 1 billion plus all over the world, that shows how many people are invested in it nonetheless.
They have an install base. I mean, as far as like investment goes, I will say if the Marvel shows are like The Mandalorian, I've been impressed. Like you said, that it's a very low point of entry for The Mandalorian,
Yeah.
which is, by the way, taken the internet by absolute storm, and no one can shut the hell up about it. And it's Baby Yoda means everywhere. Baby Yoda means here. Baby Yoda means there.
We'll get to that.
I mean, we might as well segue into it right now.
Yeah.
I think it's a very nice segue. The Mandalorian is, I think, the TV event of the year.
Gosh,
I,
yeah.
I think so.
I don't
It's not
think-
over yet.
I don't
but
think I ever could have foreseen it blowing up as big as it has.
I don't think Disney foresaw it. Like,
They're like, well,
and my evidence for that is they are only now getting Baby Yoda merchandise up and running like
yeah.
that.
Look at that little
And that's not
thing.
until February. Disney did not know
No.
what it had.
So here's what their like safety plan was. Like a week or two ago, they were like, "Oh, hey, we've got merchandise just in time for Christmas," and it's literally just a picture of the child, and you can slap it on like 100 different T-shirts, mugs, and coffee cups. And sometimes it'll just be the picture. Sometimes it'll say the child, which I wish they could put Baby Yoda on it. To me, that'd be so much cooler. But that was kind of like their like safety plan. Like we can get the shirts rolling out, for Christmas. But the plush toys and all that has to wait.
I mean, people are picking up the slack. We have like people making the little yarn babies just
Yes.
themselves. Like that's a
Yeah.
homemade thing right there. Who needs Disney when you have,
I
craftiness?
Yeah, Etsy. I know it's flooded already, and there's
Oh,
a demand
I have
for
no
it.
doubt. I mean, with that kind of like virality, I don't think you can plan for that.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's something that just kind of happens. Like, of course Disney expected to be profitable and successful, but like this, no one saw this coming.
I don't think so. Yeah, and like especially with like the Funko Pops, like as soon as people saw it, they were like, "We need this Funko Pop ASAP." And previous to the show releasing, they did have like the Mandalorian. They had one of the robots. They had, I think, Cara Dune, who we finally just saw. So they had all those, and people were like, yeah, that's cool. But as soon as they saw the Baby Yoda, they were like, but where's that pop? So they will be making a Baby Yoda pop. There's going to be one like regular sized one, and then there's going to be one jumbo, like 10-inch one. They come in like boxes this big, and you'll see them at like Target or whatever. It's going to be huge, but it's going to be cute, I'm pretty sure.
We will. I am going to ask some more piercing questions, but really
Yes.
quick. Ashley did say the memes are my favorite, which is a perfect. The memes are nuts. I mean,
The
word-
soup meme, yeah.
Yeah.
The tea, now
the
he's
tea
got the
drinking
tea.
meme. Yeah, that's what you post whenever there's like, ooh, tea's being spilled,
Yeah.
something like that. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
It just, part of me almost feels a little bad, kind of dirty that Disney is having this much free advertising and success.
Oh no.
Look, there's always this war in me for viewers and for you, Mia,
Yeah.
between, I mean, I got to give them credit.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying Marvel. I really am enjoying The Mandalorian more than I thought I would. Like, I'm not a giant Star Wars fan. Like, I've seen the number. I've seen like episodes 1, 4, 8, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I see them and then I go away and don't think about them again. Like, The Mandalorian is the most fun I have ever had watching anything
Yay.
involving Star Wars.
Woohoo.
But there is this thing in the back of my head where I'm like, I mean, I know they just produced it to get my Disney Plus money, and they're already kind of becoming like a monopolistic enterprise. Part of me is like, this can't last. Part of me is like, once they have controlled all of entertainment, they will just stop caring and just
Yeah.
kind of suck people dry.
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I mean, no, I can see where that I don't know, paranoia.
Because they've been buying a lot of studios lately.
They have.
But again, like, I really like their content.
Yeah. It really is in that sense a catch-22 where it's like they want to I mean their goal is to make stuff, obviously. They want to make
Yeah.
movies, they want to, do stuff that's fun. They have on the lower levels creators who want to like animate or write or, operate cameras and stuff like that. So, they're making jobs, giving jobs,
That's true.
letting
Like
us
a lot of
enjoy
people.
it. But yeah, under kind of like the evil empire umbrella sort of thing. We're like, drat, if it only, wasn't Disney, but
If only Apple TV Plus had this kind
Aw.
of. Well, Apple TV Plus
well,
2
then,
is a bit of a thing.
Yeah, it's I think Kiwi would be like the only
Kiwi.
one where it's just like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm here too.
I'm just here being Kiwi. I mean,
Yeah.
just focus on the positive, though. I really am liking the show. I'm
Yeah.
liking, again, like the low barrier to entry. I like how short the episodes are.
Mm-hmm.
Like this most recent one where they kind of stopped by the Seven Samurai-ish village
Yeah.
was just, it was a standalone episode of television. I'd forgotten what those were
Yeah.
like. I'm too used to Game of Thrones and Watchmen and Start Materials with
Yeah.
these like epic stories that are like, span the whole series.
Yeah.
Not even the season, to have like, oh, it's a self-contained adventure where he meets some characters and they fight an ATST, whatever they're called. It's pretty cool. It's got glowing eyes. And then they leave. And I'm like, oh, they're just like wrapped up. I find that very refreshing.
It really is. And at first I was kind of like scorned with that type of model. Like, if I'm going to watch like 22, 40 episodes of How I Met Your Mother and like half of it is just like, they're pulling jokes out of the ground. But for this, I think it's still very like succinct and they know what they're doing. And, it's just not like, oh, CBS wants to run this for like 10 seasons or something like that. I feel like it's very contained where it's like, okay, even though we're going to have one-off episodes, we're also, which I hope and pray that they're not going to milk it either. Like, oh, let's see how long we can
there
go
are
with
8
this.
episodes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's not like milk to death. Not yet anyway. And I'm not sure they would. Like, obviously they're going to get back to a overarching plot, but I like that they're like stopping to smell the roses a little bit.
Yeah. And it might also have to do with production costs too, because it's almost like they're producing a whole movie and then some, because it's longer than a movie.
And it's a very, very beautiful series.
Yeah, so it's very labor intensive, and that shows. I mean, so that's good. So I think that's the difference between like having like a 3-wall studio, and Mandalorian is shot in front of a live audience sort of thing. So I think that might be the one fail safe where they're like, okay, as long as we've got we're putting time and effort, we're not going to go overboard with it.
Yeah. But I'm really, really enjoying it. Looking forward to seeing what they have more. I mean, it is the TV event of the year as far as I'm concerned, and I hope they can keep it up.
Yeah, it takes cake. Sorry, Stranger Things, which they outbeat Stranger Things.
I mean, Stranger Things has been on for like months and months.
Well, it was like one of the you just said like most buzziest TV show. It's like, well, all right.
So that's great. Some really quick news stories before we get to, of course, the giveaway, which is coming up in a minute. Yay! I never thought about Veterinary Lawyer, and I completely forgot it. And I hope I would just talk and it'll come up, but it's not coming up, so forget it. I mean, it was really smart. Yeah.
Okay.
Jar Jar Binks actor is going to host a game show. That's fun.
Just
Ahmed
open
Best.
with that. Yeah. That was
cute.
an interesting. Is it a children's sort of like
Yeah,
game show?
it's
So
like children compete to be the best Jedi Knights.
So it's reminding me of like Nickelodeon sort of thing.
Yes, it
but
gives me a very like Legends of the Hidden Temple for your time feel. I'm sure there are some adults who would love to do that.
I know. It's like, actually in
Can I
episode
swing a sword?
4.
Can I do that?
No, don't do that. Just for the kids. Let them enjoy it. Let the Padawans enjoy it.
So there's most stuff in. We're a little short today, but why don't we get to give people what they want and give away the
I think they're all right.
the Game of Thrones complete series?
Riddle us this.
Okay. So the way we do this, we're going to give away the Game of Thrones complete series box set. The way we do it on Take the Black Live is we're going to ask a trivia question, and you guys are going to answer in the comments. The first person to get in a correct answer, I'm going to contact afterwards, say, you won, hooray. And then you're going to give me your address, and we will send it out to you, courtesy of our friends at Think Jam and HBO. Okay, so get your fingers poised over the keyboards.
All right.
And again, I am sorry, this is only for the U.S. and Canada. Because okay.
Reasons.
The trivia question is, just in the spirit of this and huge Game of Thrones box set, name the title of the very first episode in the television show Game of Thrones. The title of the very first premiere pilot episode of Game of Thrones.
I wonder.
I can't do that. It's totally illegal. Do you know?
I actually don't.
It's if you like guessed, it's one of like the big catchphrases of the series. Would get it. It's not a hard title. It's not a hard title to guess. But yeah. What I wanted to say. We'll talk about that. That The Mandalorian is really, really great.
Yes.
Have you watched any more of Watchmen, by the way?
I think I've reached my cap with Watchmen. I don't know why, but I am so sorry that I had to back out of this endeavor.
Oh, fair enough. Did you watch any more?
Oh, no.
It works.
I feel like I just see the headlines. I'm like, all right, that happened. All right.
Yeah. Because I feel like, you're not alone at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's not getting great viewership. Like, that's the other show I think is really killing it this year, the thing that compete with Mandalorian, but, like, way fewer folk are watching it.
no.
I think the barrier of entry is way higher. Like, The Mandalorian is great, but it's very easily watchable,
Yeah.
which is good. It's a good thing. But I also like Watchmen, which is like a homework doing show. Like we were talking earlier about like is Marvel going to be hard to watch because you have to do all these things to get up on it. Like Watchmen's a show like you don't have to read the comic book, but it would help.
Yeah, even watching the first episode, I was like, okay, I know these little things like a Rorschach mask or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's like if I did know that, I would be kind of lost.
And like that does not stop. Like there's
Oh, gosh.
there's all these details and it's all very dense. And I think very, very rewarding if you dig into it, and a lot of people
Yeah.
are. But it's kind of unfortunate because that kind of show, it makes perfect sense. It's not going to be watched by because it's not as easy to watch.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, again, was like this kind of miracle show that was both, it was quite complicated.
Yeah.
But it was easy enough, I guess, to just invite you
It's
into
easy
it.
enough and kind of fun. I don't know. It just kind of sucks you in to the point where you're like, oh well, I don't care. I'll figure it out eventually, and I just want to keep watching.
Yeah. I think Watchmen is I really do love it. I think it's
Yeah.
excellent, but it is maybe a little too dense for its own good, which is tricky because I want more shows like that and more shows like The Mandalorian. I hope we can all live together
Yeah.
in peace and
Aw.
harmony.
Holding hands, singing on the hilltop.
Anyway,
Oh boy.
as Heike Corsi asked, Watchmen really that good? Yes, I think it is excellent, and anybody who watches it, I encourage them to so they can get up the numbers and we can get another season.
Yeah.
We got some responses. I won't give away the answer right here just in case. 8 people already said. Yes, the answer is the episode was called Winter is Coming. Of course.
Ta-da.
Full circle moment. I'll be getting back to the winner very shortly. Any other comments you have? Before we sign out
Louise
today?
is asking, if going back to the Mandalorian really quick. Question: will we see him with his helmet off?
What do you think?
It might not be Pedro Pascal. It could be anyone.
It's not. Wouldn't that be
I
funny?
would love that. What a twist! No, I think it will be him. I almost thought he was gonna take his helmet off in front of the lady. Who
I
was
almost
flirting
thought
with
too.
him.
Then I thought like we're 4 episodes in. Nah.
Yeah, it's not yet. But if you look very closely, I think in episode 1 you could see a little bit of his wrist. So it's like
bit of his
ooh,
wrist.
a little
Pedro Pascal
risque. So going back to Victorian times here.
I want you and everybody listening to complete this sentence. It's not Pedro Pascal. The Mandalorian takes off his helmet, and to your surprise, it's
Like,
Kate Blanchett. Like who? Name
would
someone.
be the most surprising.
Yes.
Robert De Niro. Welcome to the streaming service. Oh, Martin Scorsese.
Yes. If it was Martin Scorsese, I would love that.
I lied. I love streaming services.
I'm all in. Watch The Irishman with Robert De Niro. Yeah. Do you think that we'll see us without his helmet off? Do you think they'll go there?
Man, fingers crossed. Oh boy. I feel like because it was provoked, it was thought, they brought it up. I feel like
they
it's
know.
a Chekhov's gun sort of thing now. I'll put in my chips for yes.
Wait, some of the responses.
Right.
Heike says Conan O'Brien. Sherry Fix, Tom Cruise, Ashley Pipes, Lena Headey. Isabel says Waldo. Waldo. There he is. And Jay Salazar, Brad Pitt. Any of those I would
Mountain.
go for.
Oh,
like
lovely,
Waldo.
lovely answers.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. That made my day.
So yeah, we'll find that out sooner
Kit
rather than
Harington.
later. Kit Harington? Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. That's enough for one day. It's been a day.
All right, it has. Congratulations to the winner, whoever they are. I'll get in contact with you shortly. And we'll be back next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here. To talk more about sci-fi, fantasy, Game of Thrones, Mandalorian, whatever is popping at the time. Again, we are available on iTunes, Spreaker, wherever podcasts are downloaded. And seriously, I don't want to beg, but if you are able and interested, it does help, raise things in the ratings, as I understand it. I'm not an analytics guy exactly. If you get lots of 5-star reviews,
Yeah.
people say "You're so amazing." So just I know that we're a 2.5-star show, but just lie and say we're 5.
No,
I'm
no,
kidding, I'm
you
kidding,
have
I'm
to
kidding.
believe in yourself. If we were 2.5-star show, I don't think anyone would be watching.
If you feel like it. And we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Thanks so much and congrats, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.